Does your family like this? How do they like you being a politician?
My wife is, she's glad that I'm doing it because she sees it's time for the citizen candidate to step up. You know, as you know, our government was not formed to be the way it is. It was formed for the citizen candidate to step up, do the right thing. So let me say that for me, this is not so much about the party. It's about doing the right things, because I'm not the establishment candidate. But anyway, it was set up for that, and then step back, and now it would be the next citizen's turn to step up and do their part.
A citizen legislature. That's what they had in mind when our country was founded. And we've strayed so far away from that, and we've got people who are going to be in office for, I mean, some of them have been in office probably longer than you've been alive.
This is true. This is true. And, you know, I can think of one specifically at the national level, Robert Byrd, who just passed away. And anyway, he was...
Rest in peace.
He was the true definition of a career politician, if there ever were one.
Or Ted Kennedy.
Well, that too.
I mean, seriously. Why do people same old, and they expect a different result?
I don't know. Then
I think that's the definition of insanity.
That is what I was going to say. And so I just have to say, for everyone in my district who might ask me, why should you vote for me? Well, because I'm not the establishment candidate, and I do have some good ideas I think they're worth listening to, and we can talk about the issues. We're not going to disagree on every issue, and we may well agree on more issues than what you think. So when I'm out door knocking, if I happen to come to your door, let's talk about the issues and see how much we really do agree.
So if people wanted more information on you, how would we get in touch with you? Facebook, Twitter, website? All of the above?
I am on Facebook, and you can.
I'm your friend.
Yes, you are. You can look me up on Facebook on the search bar on your homepage and just type in WesWhitby for Minnesota House of Representatives, and my candidate page will pop up. And also, you can Google my name, and I'm all over that page.
Excellent, excellent. All right, I want to go back to jobs and the economy and taxes, because I think that's what this election is about. It doesn't take an economist to realize that things are seriously messed up. What do you think are some of the first steps that can be taken by the state of Minnesota to address some of these issues?
Lower taxes, number one thing. That's my first choice. Let's lower the taxes.
All of them? Well, we've got corporate income taxes, we've got personal income taxes, we've got sales taxes, we've got property taxes, we've got... Now, I'd be thrilled if you said, great, let's lower them all, because I'm in.
Frankly, that's not going to happen.
I know.
And it's not possible to lower all taxes across the board.
Darn.
We could try, but there's just been too many disagreements about this very subject.
Depends on how big of a victory we have in November.
Well, that's true. That's true. But let's just talk about the current state we're in. And the current state is that, number one, I believe in productivity. And so people, individuals who are being productive, who are creating jobs, they should have a tax break, if you will, because they are being creative, and those jobs stimulate the economy.
And then they'll create more jobs.
Absolutely. This is a very simple solution to one problem. And so if we do that, we'll be in much better shape.
We have one of the governor's candidates who wants to tax the rich. We have another one who, and we just found out that if he taxes the rich, that isn't enough to pay for all the things that he wants, which means he'll come to tax the not-so-rich. You have another candidate who will tax the rich and the poor because he wants to expand the sales tax. He wants to tax alcohol 10 cents an ounce or something like that, and wants to tax cigarette tax increase. That won't be enough either, and even his expansion of gambling won't be enough to pay for all the things that they want for government. We pretty much have one governor's candidate who says they'll take a look at phasing down the corporate sales income tax. Corporate sales tax. Do you think you could get behind that?
Yeah, I probably could get behind it. I just want to say that I have a point to make about that. When we're talking about taxing individuals' dollars that they worked for, when you get your check, you have FICA, Social Security, and Medicare taken out of each dollar. Now, when you buy something with that dollar, you're taxed again. Depending on what you buy, of course, but you're taxed again. So how many times are we actually taxed on that specific dollar before we get to spend it, or when we're spending it? So at what point do we say, we're taxed enough already, and we're tired of being taxed, and we need to look at this and say, no more. We can't cut the taxes across the board, but when we're talking about individual income tax, we must give tax cuts to individuals who are being productive.
And I keep when I talk about all the different taxes, I keep harping on the corporate income tax, because I think it's a hidden tax. People don't realize the corporations don't pay the taxes. No. They pass it on to the consumers, and we pay the taxes.
That's right.
And we're one of the highest in the nation, one of the highest in the world, I think. And that's the part that really bothers me so much. If people realized how much money, look at their next paycheck. See how much money was taken out of their paycheck, and then look at your sales tax receipts and your property tax. And when you see that tax, that point of being taxed enough already, we're there, Wes.
Absolutely.
We're there.
No, absolutely. I would totally agree with you. I just want to say, a little bit. Can I do a little background on me for people who might not know me?
We'd love to hear it.
I started in 1985. I started doing odd jobs, mowing grass on people's houses, painting fences, fixing houses in general, doing little things. And I've been doing this for more than 25 years, fixing houses. So I'm a handyman of sorts, and now I'm a project development manager for a national company named Handyman Connection, by the way. But anyway, I just want to say that as a self-employed individual, I would like to see the self-employment tax rate be below 10%, because right now it's something about 15 to 18%, depending on where you are. But anyway, we need to lower this rate, and again, reward productive individuals that are creating jobs.
It's all about productivity.
So for me, and one other thing on my background, I am definitely not the career politician. I've never ran for office before. In fact, as I said, I actually do work on houses. So this is not about party politics. This is about doing the right things. And we need to keep that in mind when we're voting.
Yes, definitely doing the right thing, because we're in a mess. We're in a mess. And when people come and they say, oh, well, gosh, that candidate, he sure doesn't have much experience, I always say, look where the experience got us, into this mess. We need some new thinkers down there, some new faces, some new ideas, because we can't continue the same old status quo.
No, we can't. It's gotten us worse than nowhere.
It's crazy, crazy. We should probably tell everyone how we met. We went down to Al Franken's office together.
That's right.
We had tried to motivate some people to go down there and have a talk with Al and tell him we didn't like some of his votes. I can't even remember the particular. All I remember, it was an environmental vote that he was going to take, and we were none too happy about it. Oh. And there were 12 or 14 of us that went down to Al Franken's, and I want people to know, nobody shot anybody. Nobody got in a fight and yelled and screamed. Nobody punched anybody. We had a very rational, intelligent conversation with the other side of the aisle.
And that's right. And we did have a good conversation. And so maybe we didn't affect the change as we wanted it, but we did have a conversation. And I believe that effective debate will only strengthen our nation, while name-calling and arguments will only bring us all down. Together we stand, divided we fall. So if we can effectively communicate and talk about the issues, then we will be a strengthened nation and state.
I agree with that, and that's why I was so impressed when I met you and many of the other people who went to Franken's office, because it was, and you know what? I encourage people to do that. Talk to their politicians.
Absolutely.
Whether it's the person who's supposed to be representing you or not, get out there, go to their office, visit them. Sometimes that's the only place you can find them. We should point out, oh, by the way, Al Franken wasn't in his office, but that's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
We had to open the door for the debate.
That's right.
And you have to start somewhere.
Yes.
And I think it's absolutely, we've got to get rid of these career politicians.
And this is one of the other reasons why I'm running, Sue, because in the countless other times since I've been involved in looking at politics, trying to talk to my representative is like trying to pull teeth out of a chicken or herding a bunch of cats. It doesn't work. It's very hard to talk to them. And if you send an email, what do you get? You get some sort of a form letter back. So if I do the service of writing a handwritten letter while sitting in the office and give it to the assistant and say, please give this to my representative, I realize there's a lot of constituents out there that they can't simply respond to everyone, but it would be nice to get the same treatment. I try and treat people the way I'd like to be treated, so.
It just bothers me when I write a politician and I get an auto reply back.
Yes.
Or the other thing that bothers me is I write them a letter and I'll ask them about jobs in the economy, and I'll get a letter back talking about the unemployment rate and Obamacare or something, you know, and they never answer my questions. That's why I appreciate these interviews, because you guys answer my questions.
That's
when
right.
We have a few more minutes here. I want to talk about personal responsibility. What do you think is the responsibility of the citizens of Minnesota, besides voting for the right candidates come November, to change the direction that Minnesota's headed? What's the responsibility of the citizens?
Well, if you wanna start with individuals, the responsibility is when you look in the mirror every morning and you say, okay, I'm up, I'm going to go do my part to make my state, my city, my town, my block, for that instance, my house productive. So as for me and my house, I will do what needs to be done to make it productive. And when we start with ourselves and our households, that is going to amplify throughout the city, state, county, and everywhere else. So we just need to be activated, educated, and motivated enough to hold our politicians' feet to the fire. So when I am in the office, if I'm doing something you don't like, please let me know. And
trust me.
Oh, I know you will. But, please let me know, and we can talk about why we're doing what we're doing.
And I think that's really important, because as I say to people all the time, if you only knew what they were doing over there.
That's right.
Or you'll knock on a door and they'll say, oh, I don't pay attention to politics. Politics don't interest me. And I look at them and I say, well, you should pay attention, because politics is touching every aspect of your life.
It certainly is.
The roads you drive on, the schools your children go, how much money comes out of your pocket. I mean, need we go on?
No. Yeah, that's right, Sue. It's something, the way that this has transpired to the point we're at now. As you said, this is the most important election in history, I believe, and I know you believe that too, and for a good reason. Because if we don't get a handle on these issues we've been talking about, we'll just keep going down and down and down until we no longer have our individual personal freedoms that we have.
Can you sum it up for the viewers? Why should they vote for you?
Because I am the citizen and I'm a project development manager. Now, let me explain that task a little bit, if I might. When I go to evaluate a project on someone's house, I have to evaluate what the problem is. Many times I have to be creative in solving that problem to make it right. And when we are trying to fix something on a house, our goal as craftsmen are to restore that house to the original way it was meant to be before the damage happened. And so I would liken that to the job of being legislator. We need to restore the house to the previous way it was before the damage has happened with the out of control spending and everything else. And so, as to your question, why should people elect me? Simply because I listen to people who live in my district. I am listening, and I'm willing to talk about the issues, and I am accessible to you.
Perfect. Best of luck to you, Wes Whitby. I think you're going to win.
Thank you, Sue.
I'll look forward to being invited to your swearing-in ceremony in January.
You absolutely will.